like to do in the next few questions is just to ask you about each of the parts, just to give readers an overview of the book. So part one, the title is The Racist History of Residential Zoning. So that's a strong thing to say that zoning has a racist history. What do you mean by racist, and what's the evidence?
So I begin my book telling a story, and I should point out that my book has a lot of stories about individuals and how they deal with rules and regulations and government. And the first story starts in 1910 in Baltimore, where George McMechen was a Yale-educated attorney, and he and his schoolteacher wife decided to buy a new home because to reflect their status, reflect their success. And they bought a new home in what was called the Utah Place neighborhood in Baltimore. Within a few days of buying that home, local youth gathered in front of their home and threw rocks and broke every window in their home and the skylight as well. Why? Why did they do that? Because George McMechen and his family were all black, and the neighborhood that they were moving into was all white. Within a short period of time, the city of Baltimore, the city council, basically acquiesced to the mob mentality, and they passed the nation's first zoning ordinance that made it a crime for African Americans to move into a white neighborhood under penalty of close to $3,000 in 2024 dollars in the fines and up to a year in prison for the offense of moving into the wrong neighborhood. This ordinance proved wildly popular in the southern states and the border states between the North and the South, and eventually it was struck down. But as I talk in the book, it was replaced by economic zoning, which essentially did the same thing, but it was a kinder and gentler sort of racism. It wasn't based on the race, but based on class, based on the fact that you could not afford to live in communities if they were zoned to have large lot, single family zoning. If you banned apartment buildings, if you banned duplexes and triplexes and things of that nature, then you were effectively excluding working class people, you were excluding minorities, and you were excluding poor people as well.